Thank you, Michael. Welcome, everyone. Going back through and just talking through the last game, Texas game. Really proud of our players once again to play a good, solid football game and win the way they did. In that, I thought just some real pluses offensively. I thought definitely our ability to run the football was a big factor in the game. And I think, really believe our offensive line, tight ends, young true freshman Trey Millard at fullback, they all did an excellent job just blocking and staying after it and protecting. So just DeMarco Murray and Moses Madu, a couple of players of the game in the way they played. DeMarco, 115 or so yards. And Moses came in and was a great compliment to him, had some excellent runs and a touchdown and really ran the ball physical. And both of them took care of the football. That was a big factor, too, through the day. And Landry Jones, once again, as a young quarterback, had an outstanding game. And maybe the plus of it all is the way our receivers stepped up and, complimented Ryan Broyles, who everyone knows is a special player. The other guys, Kenny Stills and Dewan Miller in particular, really had big days and some really competitive, tough catches. And really really helped influence the game. I think defensively, I was pleased with the overall pressure. We got to the quarterback for the most part. We let a couple of screens got away from us, but for the most part, our coverage really was good all day, and we didn't allow them consistency running the ball. They got one big run in the first half, but the rest of the half, I think 3 of the first 4 possessions were 3 and out, and so for the most part, played solid that way, and same with kicking game. All the kickoffs and those kind of things were solid. Punt coverage solid. Jimmy made all his extra points. So all of that, all in all, when you're in a good situation, when you're up 18 in the fourth quarter, 28-10, you feel pretty good about what you're doing. Now, obviously, wanted to finish the game better in the way it unfolded. Wasn't played cleanly. We had the one play where Landry fumbles that we had a mix-up in the formation in the call, and no reason to drop the football, that's for sure, or to just throw it away is the easiest thing to do. And but that put us in a hole. But everyone forgets the very next play, DeMarco runs the ball for about 18, 20 yards to push it back out. Again with the run game, and then Tress has a good punt, and we get good fortune where the guy drops the ball. But in the end, need to finish the game better that way. But again, anytime you're in this position, we're 5-0 on the off week now. We played 4 of the 5 teams were bowl teams a year ago, and I think 3 of them are ranked in the top 25 right now. And to be 5-0 feels pretty good. With an off week to go back through these last 5 games, and we'll look at areas, offense, defense, of what has hurt us in the previous 4 games, whether it be formations, plays, blitzes, whatever, coverages, and how we want to work against them, improve it, because we're bound to see some of it again. So that's what we'll work on here through the week. We'll practice yesterday, a little bit shorter yesterday, not quite as physical. Today, Tuesday, and Wednesday will be physical. Our usual practices, getting after it. We'll do a little more like, some of it will be a little more like the spring, where we're going good on good and 2s on 2s, getting a lot of good work that way, and then work the particular areas we want to look at. And then Thursday will be a little bit shorter and lighter. Most of the coaches will be out recruiting Thursday and Friday. So anyway, that's how the schedule will go this week, and then we'll be back in the game week on Monday.
Why do you think in 45 games you played so well through 3 quarters, then struggled in the 4th quarter?
Well, some of it's, I think, 2 ways. That's probably not anything enlightening. 2 ways. Some of it, we need to play cleaner. Other ways, listen, at certain times, they have good players too. They're going to make some plays. So you're playing Texas and you think in the end of the game they don't have an opportunity to make plays. That's not always very realistic. They're a good team. They got good players, as the other people we've played. So some of it's due to us. Some of it's due to their good execution too. so that, I think both of it together.
Out of your running game, you pointed out that Marco got the ball out. He scored twice. You did some subtle wrinkles and some things in that, but the running game actually performed pretty well against Texas.
Our running game performed very well, if you look at just the running backs, they gained 185 yards. That's big, and so I think our Coach Wilson and our offensive staff did a nice job in having some wrinkles in the way we ran it, but it still gets down to executing it, and I just thought our guys up front and all those guys running the ball did a really nice job of executing it.
Mac obviously has problems with the officiating after going back and looking at it. What are your thoughts on that after looking at tape?
Well, again, that's up to them to decide. I don't comment on officiating, but I've been on that side of it not long ago, and a year ago, you guys all watched us, all the different penalties, whether it be that game or other games. That's part of the game, and in the end, I was proud of our players that we pulled off the quarterback, didn't have penalties, where in the past we have had penalties, and I thought that was a big part of us a year ago. And again, I'm not speaking on them. A year ago, we had a lot of penalties. You guys were all witnessed it and wrote about it, and this year we're not having them, and so we're playing a lot cleaner, a lot smarter, and not putting ourselves in bad positions. And I appreciate our players for being able to do that, and it needs to continue, and it was a major emphasis for us in this game. I specifically talked about it before the game of, what was acceptable and what isn't, and that we didn't want to put ourselves in that position.
Bob, Kevin said that his blood pressure was going up with the headsets, and you said that you should have called timeout. But at what point do you, when your quarterback gets the play from you guys, from the coaching staff, from the sideline, and he doesn't realize what's going on, he's not clear, at what point do you expect him to step up and call timeout?
Well, he shouldn't have to. Now that the rule allows us to, that has to be me. Unless he's in a situation, right, where it's just totally not going to work, then he can. And at any time he can do that.
Yeah. But you guys are not sure if he's gotten the signal correctly.
Exactly, and how he interpreted it. Sometimes if it is, a quarterback sometimes will get it straight on his own too. So in the end, again, that falls on my shoulders. I should have called the timeout.
He's unsure, should you just say, let's blow
Yes,
the timeout?
exactly.
Walk away from it.
Mhm.
How complicated are all these signals? Is it,
Not very.
I guess I'm asking.
I guess some are more complicated than others, but in the
How
end,
is the confusion comes from where? Is it like you're given a bunch of signals and only a certain segment of the signals are the?
well, it's hard to, it can be multiple ways. I mean, I'm not, again, if a guy might have seen half of it or part of it, there's all kind of different reasons when it gets fouled up, how it could happen. But in the end, it's just the interpretation from when Coach Wilson calls it to the live signal caller.
Who's playing well on the offensive line for you?
Most all of those guys, they're still a work in progress, but it's definitely exciting to see the improvement. I think, Ben Hayburn has played pretty well. I think at tackle, Jarvis Jones has come on and is playing better. Stephen Good's doing a good job. Eric Mensick, at the right tackle is doing a good job. They're all just continue to make good progress.
They seem more physical Saturday in terms of just straight ahead blocking. Was that so? And is that
Yes.
how good of a sign is that?
That's a real positive sign, and they've been been more and more that way through as the year has gone on, and I think and in some of our design and how we block some things allowed them to be more physical in how they came off the ball and what we were asking them to do.
Is that a product of being simplifying their schemes for them?
No.
Less thinking, more just reacting?
No, it's just the way it was designed.
Bob, what do you expect of Finch when you get him back? How much does he
We
play?
want him to play.
I mean, do you think it'll take him time since this will be his first action, to catch up?
Yeah, we'll have to see, how this week and next week goes. But we're hopeful he'll be back to full speed, and we want to, start to give him some opportunities. So we'll just kind of, work through the week and see how it goes.
Is this a deal with him where if he can help you win a championship or win games, you want him to play? Or is it like you've said in the past where you want your freshmen to play so they can have a better, opportunity later in their careers?
Well, it's both. I mean, he's a guy we think can help us, and it'll, we do have 2 senior running backs, so it'll also make them more prepared for next year. So all of it together.
Can you weigh the Quentin Griffin example where he had to play in 2000 and played great, but he really could have been used in that 2003 run as a senior, his 5th-year senior.
Yeah, but he might not have been the guy he was in 2000 when we won the championship had he not played the games that he did the year before. So I don't know how to you can that's for you to write about and imagine what would have happened or what not ought to happen. I know what did happen, and it worked out pretty well.